Did you know that the Mercedes-Benz C-Class is all new for 2019? Well, I'm here today to show you what has changed, what has been updated, and we got everything from a brand new key to new power to new lights, new technology, new displays, steering wheel, and more. This is the all-new 2019 Mercedes-Benz C300. Tons of new design choices on the Mercedes C-Class. So several things have changed for the new body design for this 2019 model year. First and foremost, and probably most notably, is the new grille. So Mercedes has finally done the diamond block grille on the C-Class sedan. This is now an option with the sport package that you have. This diamond blocked grille on the front gives it a really kind of nice, sporty, aggressive approach to the front of the car with the single lamella design sort of sliding right between the diamond block chrome tips around the outside. This particular one additionally does have the illuminated star, and you'll notice that some of the star designs have changed on the new C-Class. They have now sealed off the sort of hollow area around the outside of the star. Also a brand new headlamp. So LEDs, of course, you have the fiber optic LED daytime running light here. You do have a new LED high performance design to the lamp with these sort of two separate sections helping you to be able to see at night. There are some additional options with some adaptive high beams, some moving fixtures. Coming around the side, you're going to notice a few elements. This particular car does have the sport package, which does give it a more aggressive front body styling. You'll notice these sort of air flicks built into the side here of the front fender, and you'll notice also a larger and more aggressive wheel design. So this particular one does have an upgraded wheel. This actually has one of our 19-inch wheel designs with the multi-spoke accents. Also several black accents along the side of this car, and that's because of the night package. So with the night package on the Mercedes C-Class, it will black out the mirror housings, what would typically be the chrome trim around the windows. The gray accents on the wheels become black, as do some of the elements around the front and the back fenders of the car. Coming around to the back here, you're going to notice some similar design elements to past C-Classes, but a change to the tail lamp design. So Mercedes has kind of kept with the single lamp design here on the C-Class tail lamp, and some new electronics in the back here. So you do now have hands-free access where you do have the ability to use your foot to open and close the trunk. You also have the ability to use an electronic switch here to open and close the trunk. Very nice, very simple, lots of ways to do it. Moving around one more time, you're going to notice again those night package elements that we talked about. Really slick, sporty look, and actually even now an all-new standard sunroof on the C-Class. There is still the optional full glass panorama roof, but the roof you see before you is standard. One other really cool feature on the doors is something called keyless entry. So as long as you have the key on your person, it can be in your purse, in your pocket. What's nice is if you just simply press your hand anywhere inside of this door handle, the car is going to unlock. To lock the vehicle, very simple. Just push anywhere on the outside where you see the sensor pad on any of the four doors and the vehicle will lock. So it makes it nice and easy to open and close your car. Simply touch the outside to lock, touch the inside to unlock, and you're ready to go. So there's a lot of really cool new features on the interior, from the new steering wheel design, instrument cluster, display screen, and even some hidden features such as inside where the cup holders are. So inside this little center stack of the waterfall console, you will find there are several new elements. One of which is this near-field communication ability, which includes wireless charging. So you have wireless phone pairing now for Bluetooth. You also have wireless phone charging. So you can actually just place your phone right here on this rubber pad, wirelessly charge your cell phone. If you do want to plug it in, there is an additional USB on this vehicle in addition to the ones you've typically had in the center console, that being this slot you see here. And there's something special about this one. So this slot does have a different icon than the typical USBs in the center console, and that's because this guy right here runs smartphone integration. So you do have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, which means any sort of newer iPhone or Android enabled device can be plugged into this USB, and you can mirror many of your cell phone's elements right up here to the big screen. It can also be controlled using all of the Mercedes technology, the Mercedes voice systems, etc. So it just makes for a nice, easy, hands-free way to operate your cell phone. It's very, very cool. It will look very much like your cell phone does. The Apple CarPlay will give you sort of the typical Apple icons. The Android Auto system will give you sort of the typical setup with like Google Voice and sort of some of the Google-enabled functionality of the Android. Very, very cool, very sophisticated stuff. Just gives you some nice new ways to be able to operate navigation, internet radio, phone calls, text messaging, things like that. It makes it safer for you to use that technology while you're driving as well. Additionally, we got a few new components, such as this little piece you see right here in the cup holder. This actually is included on the C-Class. It sort of acts as a coin slot slash ashtray slash just additional little carrying component for you. It can be popped in and out if you need to use the extra cup holder, but pretty cool. Just a nice little additional accessory in the Mercedes C-Class. And speaking of new components, the all-new key design. So this is actually a new key design that you're finding on some of the new generation Mercedes. 19 is the first year to find it on the C-Class. Still the typical lock, unlock, panic, and trunk switches that you'll find, but a different style to the back. Sort of hides the slot for the battery. Still very easy to change out a key battery if you need to, as well as you still have the valet secret sort of key in the back here. Give your valet this key and you can securely lock your glove box, trunk, things like that if you have valuables in your glove box. So pretty neat. All right, so the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. So this vehicle was completely redesigned back in 2015. That was the new sort of, as you know it today, C300. We've over the years offered it in several additional engine configurations, the C450, AMG Sport, which we offered for 1 year, the C400, which we offered for 1 year back in 15. Of course, more notably recently, we've had the C43, the C63. Now, what you're going to find is for the 19, there is, of course, still this variation, the C300, and there is also, too, a C43 and a C63. Just depending on how much performance that you're going for, what you're going to find is this guy, which we're driving today, which is a C300, is the 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It is now paired with the 9-speed automatic transmission, which has been a very popular transmission for us. It actually debuted back in 2016 on the Mercedes GLC, and it's been a really, really popular choice for us. It's been very consistent, very, very good with having nice, smooth shifts at all the different gears. They up the horsepower, so you actually went from having 241 horsepower from the 15 to the 18 model to having 255 horsepower here now in the 2019. So it is a little bit quicker. Have your 273 pound-foot of torque as well, which kicks in at a very low RPM. So definitely a good bit of power whenever you drive it. Plenty of pickup as soon as you go to accelerate. It's very, very nice to have that. With the C43 and the C63 additional power bumps, so you had the 362 horsepower on the 43s, which they bumped up to about 385. You got a similar type bump in the C63 if you're looking for 500 plus horsepower out of your C-Class. But nice and light. They've continued to shave weight with the use of additional aluminum, which also makes for a very nice, light, easy to drive car. Now for 19, since this was sort of the first sort of refresh or redesign since the 2015 total redesign, Mercedes was really able to incorporate a whole bunch of new technology, not just from the performance side of things, but from a design standpoint. So we've gone over some of the exterior design changes. You're going to also notice several interior design changes. Probably the first thing that it seems a lot of folks notice who are familiar with the past C-Class and then get into the new C-Class are these new displays. So there are several new options with the displays, all of which are larger, for one thing, than the past iteration. You're also talking about better full-color LED displays in terms of just overall field of view, how much display you have, the pixel resolution, things of that nature. So first off, this main display that you see here to my right, this display has been changed. Previously, what you had offered on the C-Class was a standard 7-inch display and an optional 8.4-inch display. What Mercedes has done is they have now given you the ability to option this display all the way up to 10.25 inches, so you really have a huge widescreen field of view with the additional resolution, with the newer graphics cards that they're using in this as well. It's very nice, very, very smooth. You'll find that a similar control to the command system is still incorporated below here, but you will notice some changes to everything from the icons on the screen to, once again, some of the resolution choices. This does use one of the newest NVIDIA graphics chips. Now, additionally to what you see with the main screen, you have quite a few changes to this guy over here, the instrument cluster. So there is also now an option for a all-digital instrument cluster. If you do not opt for the digital instrument cluster, you still have a larger screen than in the past. So this center screen here has gained additional field of view from the top and from the bottom. It has also sort of taken on a lot of those same graphics advancements from the screen that you see here on the right. However, this guy has the upgraded all-digital instrument cluster, which is really cool. You can actually kind of dive into it and fully customize everything on this screen, similar to how you move stuff around and adjust things on the right screen. So to show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to use another new 19 C-Class innovation, which is the all-new steering wheel design. And I can now control everything on both screens without ever taking my hands off the wheel, which is pretty darn cool. So over here, if I go to my instrument cluster's home screen, I can use this little touchscreen toggle switch that you see here and go as far as to change the design of these displays. Right now we happen to be running in the Sport design. You'll notice here there is a design called Classic. You'll see it kind of mirrors the typical sort of analog design from the past on the C-Class. There's even this all-new progressive design, which is pretty cool as well. Something I really like about this too is with the digital instrument cluster, you can customize a little further as to what actually appears in these gauges. So to do this, I'll go ahead and choose a design, and then I can very simply go into one of the gauges. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over here to the right gauge. And you'll notice that using this same touchpad, I can actually change what appears in one of the gauges, which is pretty darn cool. So if you want to pull up navigation info, fuel economy info, a clock, the tachometer, the G-forces acting on the car, a whole bunch of different cool stuff right here in this display, you can also do that. So it's really customizable, really interchangeable in terms of what you can do. Now from a customization standpoint, there is quite a bit with this vehicle that they have done to make it a little bit more adaptable to you as the driver. One of which you're going to start finding on all of our new command systems, is something that we call profiles. So with the driver profiles, you can actually have all the settings in the car programmed to your individual profile. That's why if you look at the screen over here, you'll notice this little sort of avatar-like icon up here in the upper part of the screen. We're running right now just in the guest profile on the car, but you can go so far as to dive into this, create your own individualized set of options. So if you'll have all your seat controls, your wheel and display controls, radio settings, navigation directions, everything all programmed to you as the individual driver, which is pretty darn neat. It'll make it so that if you have multiple drivers getting in and out of the car, you're never sort of fighting with each other about what stations you like to listen to, maybe what of the 64 color ambient lighting you like to have set for yourself. I am actually personally a 2019 Mercedes C-Class driver at the moment, and I can tell you from experience as well as from driving it here now that the suspension has maintained that really nice solid feel to the road where you definitely know what's going on below you, but you don't get the shake, you don't get any of the sort of shiver that you may have had in some past sports suspensions on the new model. They've really smoothed a lot of the elements of the suspension out. So we now have a standard sunroof right above us here on the C-Class. This is actually the first year where this roof has become standard. We do still feature a panorama full glass roof option as well, depending on how much light that you're going for from the roof here. You'll notice that on this roof we do have a shade which can be sort of easily retracted back and forth. Now the roof does of course open as well. There's a small switch right here which can open and close the roof. You can tilt, you can slide. Many of the cool features such as dynamic select have been improved as well with some of the new performance elements that we were talking about. You'll notice that it still gives you several sort of adjustable, customizable features. Changes the steering, changes the shift points of the transmission, engine response, all that good stuff for that way the car drives just like you want it to. These sport settings are pretty cool on the back roads, really makes it handle nice and stiff. You have an automatic economy start-stop system as well directly below this, which can be enabled or disabled based on driver preference. Very cool system which can help save gas at red lights and stop signs by shutting off several of the engine components. Every Mercedes-Benz C-Class comes with a 4-year, 50,000-mile comprehensive warranty. There are several great options to extend this warranty if you think you'll be keeping the vehicle for a little bit longer. We can go all the way up to 7 years, 75,000, or 7-year, 100,000 mile directly from Mercedes-Benz. Additionally, this warranty includes 24/7 roadside assistance nationwide. We do several additional service benefits as well at Smail Mercedes, including lifetime state inspections, pickup and delivery, Mercedes-Benz service loaners. We actually have a loaner fleet, a little over 30 brand new Mercedes, so your car's in the shop for service, we'll give you a brand new Mercedes to drive in the meantime. As always, safety at Mercedes-Benz is paramount. Definitely one of the sort of pillars our brand has been founded on. With more safety patents than any other manufacturer, Mercedes really prides itself in being one of the safest vehicles in the world. There's so many great safety features on the C-Class, from the active brake assist system, formerly known as collision prevention assist, which is essentially a series of sensors as well as stereo cameras which are monitoring using short-range, mid-range, long-range radar to see objects in front of you and then act accordingly. So in the event that it senses you're approaching something a little bit too fast, it can react with sort of alerting you. What's great is this active brake assist can also work with our adaptive braking, which in the event that you don't react, or you react, you don't react fast enough or well enough, can actually assist you with braking. So in the event that you slam your brakes, give it 50% of the brake force and you needed to give it about 75%, this car can electronically adapt that brake force accordingly. In the event you don't stop at all, don't slow down at all, it can also chime in and at low speeds typically stop the collision from happening at all, and at high speeds at least slow you down enough to where the accident's not nearly as serious, which is nice. Several side assists and rear assists are also included on many C-Classes, such as the blind spot assist that you see here, where it does monitor both blind spots using a triangle indicator on the corner of the mirror. This way, if somebody is in our blind spot on either side, you'll see a glowing red icon. And in the event that you put the signal on while somebody's in your blind spot, you will get a blink as well as a audible beep to let you know. So you notice the icon that comes on lights up when somebody's in the blind spot. And if you put your signal on, you'll see how it blinks as well as beeps at you, just to let you know that somebody's in your blind spot. It's a little thing, but this is probably one of my favorite features with the C-Class. Something I've gotten used to over the last several years of being a C-Class driver myself is the brake hold feature. Like I said, it's kind of something simple, but really nice at red light stop signs. Simply give the brake pedal sort of a little bit of a second press, and you'll notice the word hold appears here in the instrument cluster, which essentially allows you to be able to relax your feet, not have to touch a pedal, and when the light changes or when you are able to go, simply press the accelerator and the car accelerates out. So it's just kind of a nice, easy way that you can keep the car parked, don't have to worry about any movement or roll, And once again, you can kind of relax a little bit more at red lights and such. The acoustics have been a big thing for many years on the Mercedes C-Class. Ever since the initial redesign in 2015, many C-Class owners have found how much quieter the vehicles have been, and they've continued to improve that moving into this refresh for the 2019 model year. Such a quiet cabin. It isolates sound so well so you don't get any noise from the outside that you're not trying to get in. It also improves little things like just ability to, speak at a normal volume to folks in the car with you, or enjoy the surround sound system. This one gives us the Burmester surround sound system, which is the upgraded dual channel amplifier option on this vehicle. All new backup camera as well on the Mercedes C-Class. Pretty neat. Actually gives you some extension points here to show you your rate of sort of pass if you're going to be passing by, getting close to the side of another vehicle. And these sort of darkened yellow lines here show you where your tires are going to follow, the exact path, so you know on the road where your wheels are. You also know, using this red warning line here, approximately where curbs and walls and signs and people and everything behind you are. It just helps make it nice and safe. You can also go so far as to even adjust camera angle. So if you want to be able to see a few parking spots over, be able to see if there's something else behind your car. It's just extra peace of mind, extra nice little safety features from Mercedes. Thank you so much for taking the time today to watch this video of me going over the all-new 2019 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to stop by our showroom here in Greensburg, have a chance to see the vehicle for yourself, or to view additional videos or additional information on our website. Visit us on smailmercedesbenz.com.